What is the relationship between faith and politics? Hi, my name's Wes Ellis. I'm the pastor of First Congregational Church of Ramona, and I get asked this question in of one form or another fairly often, especially now in our world right now in the United States. It just seems like everything is political. The truth is, everything has always been political, but the divisions are just so much clearer now. It has been documented. The research shows that even 10 years ago, you had a much better chance of sitting next to someone of the opposite political party when you went to church. And now churches have become just much more homogenous. Most people in a given church are of the same political party. And so there's much less diversity and much less opportunity to really hear what other people are saying and doing. But the idea of separation of church and state is really kind of a Christian idea. It was an idea from the very origins of the United States and the Constitution. And really, the intent has always been not only to protect politics from being controlled by one religion or another, but also to protect people of faith, to protect the faith community in church. Separation of church and state exists so that politics don't get infused in the way we understand scripture and the way we preach the gospel. And when I say politics there, I'm talking about those divisive kinds of politics. Of course, when we say that we want to feed the hungry, heal the sick, and do those kinds of things that Jesus did, that Jesus called us to do, there's always a political element to that. So faith cannot be separated from politics in general. But the shift, I think, that has taken place in the United States is that there was a time where generally people chose their politics based on their faith, their faith in God, their faith in whatever their religious perspective was, dictated or influenced or motivated their political leanings and their political affiliations. And now the research shows, and in my experience, it seems pretty clear that the opposite has taken place. People now tend to choose their religious affiliations according to their political leanings. So politics is in the driver's seat. And that is the part that I think is really dangerous and unfortunate, because if we choose our faith according to our politics, it's going to be really difficult for our faith in God, our understanding of scripture, to ever be a corrective for what our desires are politically. All that's to say, there is definitely going to be a political element to any kind of discussion of the gospel. And frankly, if we're talking about the God incarnate in Jesus Christ, we're talking about a God who is present and active and alive and working in the very real things of our lives. And politics are just part of what it means to be human and part of what it means to live in community with each other. So of course, God has a role in all of that and should be a corrective for political decisions and motivations. The Bible is full of politics on every page. There is a command for how we should live together. There is prophetic denunciations of political exploitation and power. And the gospel of Jesus Christ. I mean, we say Jesus is Lord. That is a political statement, because in first century Rome, that meant Caesar is not. And that would have been taken as quite political. So my encouragement to all of you is to think about the relationship in your own life. What is the relationship between faith and politics for you? And I do believe they belong together. But is the cart before the horse on this? Are we allowing our political leanings to facilitate how we read scripture? Or are we allowing our understanding of scripture, our understanding of God and our faith to orient our political affiliations and leanings? The gospel of Jesus Christ is about a God who liberates slaves, who lifts up the poor, who feeds the hungry, who releases prisoners, who forgives debt, who heals the sick. This is Jesus Christ. And as soon as we make that something purely spiritual or purely ethereal, I think we've missed the point of the gospel. So the gospel is always going to be political, but maybe not in the way that certain political powers want us to think it is.